Guys, I'm back with the second video installment in the series of scientific principles of strength training for the layperson. The principles that I discuss in here are applicable regardless of your goal, whether it be to improve your athletic performance on the field or court, and or just to improve your body composition, your aesthetic appearance, or if you're just like me and just want to get stronger with a barbell. The first principle I talked about was the whole point of training. Now it is the SRA curve. That's stress, recovery, adaptation. The principles I want to talk to you about today are equally key, and you can't really talk about one of these principles in isolation because they all kind of fit together to form the training paradigm, or at least an effective training program or paradigm. What I want to talk to you about today is, first of all, the SAID principle, and that's specific adaptation to imposed demand. It means exactly what it says. As long as you're not violating the SRA curve requirements for your recovery to trigger the adaptations from the stress you impose on your body will adapt to the stress that is imposed upon it. The S in the SAID principle is specific. Specificity is king. It comes first in the SAID principle, and it should come first in your plan for your training. Specificity is the one particular aspect of training that takes precedent over all others. If you want to get better at baseball, you shouldn't probably spend all your time playing soccer, because the movements and the skills, the specific motor patterns, movement patterns that will be utilized on the soccer field will not relate very much, if at all, to the skills needed to be a successful baseball player. The other side of the specificity coin is variation. Now, you do need some variation to avoid something called accommodation. And what accommodation means is, when you expose your body to a particular stress, your body can adapt to that stress. But if you don't change the volume, the intensity, the frequency, or some aspect of the stress, you will cease to make adaptations. And in fact, you will become so neurally efficient at that activity that you will actually potentially lose certain adaptations that you made muscularly. The more technically challenging the movement is, the more specificity becomes important, the more frequency becomes important. And when I talk about variation, I don't mean to avoid the law of accommodation. You just have to vary some quality of your training protocol. Let's use a squat as an example. If you want to get better at performing a barbell squat, and you've adapted to a certain weight and you want to improve, and you can't do another rep, you can't do any more reps with that certain weight, you can do some variations. You can do box squats, you can do front squats, you can do pause squats, you can vary your stance. So to avoid accommodation, you don't have to change to a completely different exercise. You can vary the volume, you can vary the intensity, and you can vary the exercise itself slightly and still be doing the same basic motor pattern, but trigger new neural and skeletal muscular adaptations. The issue, there's a big difference between training and exercising, and I covered this a little bit in the SRA video. But when you're training, you have a specific goal in mind that you want to accomplish. Your training is set up in a way that allows you to accomplish a particular goal, i.e. to be a better football player, better basketball player, whatever it may be. Exercising does not have to be programmed. It doesn't have to be phasic. It doesn't have to be structured in a way that intelligently varies volume, frequency, that sort of thing. And there's nothing wrong with exercising. You can increase your aerobic fitness if you're training in that modality. You can burn some fat. You can potentially even put on a little muscle. But exercise can be basically anything that basically gets you tired and sweaty. Training is structured in a way that is phasic, it is programmed, and it is varied and specific in the right ways to accomplish your goal in the most optimal manner, in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of energy expenditure or time wasted. So there you have it, the SAID principle: specific adaptation to imposed demand. Specificity: if you want to be a good basketball player, you need to play basketball, you need to shoot, you need to dribble, you need to learn plays. To avoid the law of accommodation, if you're a basketball player and all you do is shoot 3-pointers and free throws, eventually you're going to get to a point where you're not improving anymore. You may need to do some things like shoot with a heavier basketball, shoot with a lighter basketball, vary the speed at which you're getting off shots, vary the stance that you're taking when you receive the ball before you go into your shooting stance. These are all aspects of training that are critical, that are very important for optimal results. And that's what I want to help you do. I want to help you avoid wasting time, wasting effort, and reach your goals as fast as possible. And something that drives me nuts is this whole idea of strength and conditioning when it comes to athletes. And it's like the Princess Bride, where the guy keeps saying inconceivable, and Inigo Montoya keeps saying that word you keep using. I don't think it means what you think it means. I think a better word for preparing an athlete to excel at their sport should be preparation. If football players are running 100-yard dashes, that's conditioning. It's really bad conditioning, but it is conditioning. But it does not really prepare them for what will be asked of them on the football field. And that's relevant because specificity, as I said, is king, and it is key when designing a training program. So if you have a halfback or a fullback, very rarely are they going to be doing, probably never, 100-yard dashes. They're going to have to learn to cut back and forth, change direction rapidly, accelerate as fast as possible. So a more intelligent way of preparing those athletes may be 10, 20, 30-yard sprints with, for every 10 meters or 10 yards of effort, 30 seconds rest in between, because that is more similar to game-specific endeavors than running 10 100-yard dashes. It just makes no sense. And also, record boards in weight rooms. They serve a purpose, but I think they can sometimes be more detrimental than helpful. I don't care how much my star quarterback squats. I want him, what his 1 rep max squat is. Yeah, I want him to get stronger if we're training in the weight room, but I want him to be able to throw touchdown passes. I want him to be accurate. I want him to be fast. I want him to be explosive. So I would design a training program in a way that focuses on those qualities. And let me also point out, I think that Dr. Fred Hatfield, also known as Dr. Squat, said this, and I thought it was great. There's no such thing as a completely fit person. There are various qualities to athletics. There's endurance, there's speed strength, there's strength speed, there's explosiveness. You can't train all of those qualities in an optimal manner at 100% all the time. If you're focusing on becoming the most the greatest long distance runner, you can't also become the greatest short distance runner at the same time. So you have to prioritize and periodize the specific athletic quality that you're training for. You can't be your strongest and your fastest self at one time. You can improve one quality, prioritize one quality, and design a training program so that the other qualities don't decline as much as they would if you stopped training them altogether. but you can't optimally improve all athletic qualities at once. And I think that's, I'm just baffled by some of the strength and conditioning that goes on in athletics today. But anyway, if you're watching this video, you know about the SRA curve and a way that you can use it. You know about specificity, you know about variation, you know about the SAID principle, and you're ahead of the game. So come back, give me some feedback if you like these videos, if you want me to present some more information, if you have any questions, give us a like. Thanks.